Mr. Lena, I heard that you courted Wilma back then. It hasn't been more than a month since the two of you married, but you're already sick of her? Men really are terrible, the woman whose hands were wandering all over him deliberately said. Indeed, he was a terrible man. But so what? He was rich. Money was all that mattered to these women, so they were willing to turn a blind eye to anything he did. It was interesting at the start, but she's now pregnant, so I can't do anything anymore. I can't believe she's even trying to put a leash around my neck. How can I let her lord over me? That's enough. Let's not talk about that revolting woman anymore. As long as you can serve me well, these are yours. With that said, Phineas placed a stack of cash on the coffee table. The two women by his side immediately beamed at the thick wad of cash. I knew you were a generous man, Mr. Lena. Don't worry. We'll definitely have you enjoying yourself tonight. After all, the two women were one of the best in the clubhouse. I love women like you. You're flirty enough, Phineas remarked as he let his hands wander on the two women's bodies. Right then, someone opened the door. When the two women raised their heads, they were met with a pair of terror-inducing eyes. Who are you? Why are you here? Did you come to the wrong room? Phineas questioned upon lifting his head and seeing the pretty face before him. He had seen the woman before. Even though he had only encountered her once, he would never forget that face of hers. She's Wilma's boss, right? She came to my wedding before. However, Phineas was fearless and even seemed to relish the idea of pinning down a beautiful woman like Sophie. Ms. Sophie, what brings you here? You two, please head out for a moment. I have some things to discuss with this man over here, Sophie icily uttered. The two women did not dare to say anything in protest at Sophie's aggressive demeanor, so they left in silence. On the other hand, Phineas, who was partially undressed on the couch, gulped at the sight of Sophie's beauty. Ms. Sophie, what would you like to talk to me about? Are you here to have some fun with me? Let me tell you this first. I'm a pretty strong man. Sophie's expression remained stony despite his disgusting words. Then she interrupted him by questioning, Did you hit Wilma? So she's here to settle the score with me. Ms. Sophie, that's between us. I didn't hit her. It's just a romantic act between the two of us. A romantic act? Sophie barked out a laugh in her fury. How can men like him exist in this world? He beat her to within an inch of her life, but here he is, telling me that it's a romantic act. That's what a lot of people do nowadays. Ms. Sophie, you're still unmarried, so you wouldn't understand this. It looks like you're one for romantic acts like these. To say such things means he's unrepentant. Ms. Sophie, it's Christmas. Why are you here telling me these things instead of keeping your boyfriend company at home? Phineas taunted. Wilma's my wife. Even if I do hit her, she has to endure it in silence. Ms. Sophie, please don't tell me you're here to have some fun because your boyfriend can't fulfill your needs. Tristan could not believe that the douchebag was casting doubt on his stamina just as he arrived at the place. Excuse me. No man is going to stand for that. Why aren't you going inside? He then asked Sophie. Sophie turned to look at him. The only reason she had not taught Phineas a lesson herself was because Tristan had told her he was going to do it. I was waiting for you. Once Phineas saw Tristan by Sophie's side, he quickly tidied his clothes. What are you trying to do? You can't do as you please. We live in a lawful society, all right? Phineas cried out, his words tinged with panic. However, Tristan did not bother wasting his breath on the other man as he immediately made his move. Despite beating up someone, Tristan was still as elegant as he always was, but all of the blows he dealt were agonizing ones. He was ruthless, and he intentionally picked visible spots to strike. The kind of men he hated most were men who hit women. It was fine by him if the man wanted to get a divorce from the woman, but a husband must never lay a hand on his wife. Therefore, he was going to teach a piece of trash like Phineas a good lesson. In no time, only the screams of pain and terror from Phineas could be heard in the room. Help! Someone's trying to kill me, Phineas pleaded, unable to withstand the beating. Alas, the club owner did not dare to enter the room after finding out who was in it. The people outside the room could only pale drastically as the screams traveled into their ears. All they could do was ponder over the severity of the beating that Phineas was receiving. In the meantime, Sophie was standing at the side, watching with her arms folded across her chest. She was completely unfazed by Phineas' miserable state. Eventually, Phineas kneeled down and begged for mercy. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please let me go." It was only then Phineas realized what kind of demon he had crossed. Trembling, he went on, "Ms. Sophie, I'm really sorry. I'm going to apologize to Wilma right now." "Let's go," came Sophie's frigid response. When Tristan saw that Phineas remained motionless despite hearing Sophie's answer, he shot the latter a glare. Instantly, Phineas scrambled out of the room after them. As soon as the others outside spotted Phineas' dreadful condition, they held their breaths and kept their silence. When Tristan and Sophie went to the parking lot, Sophie came to a stop outside of the car. "What's the matter? Aren't we going to the hospital? Why are you standing here?" Tristan curiously asked. He knew that Sophie was protective of the people around her. Moreover, Sophie felt grateful toward Wilma for her kindness, and thus, there was no way she would allow Wilma's abuser to go unpunished. "I don't want to be in the same car as that man." Every time she thought about how he had beaten Wilma into that state, she would feel anger flare up in her. "I see." Tristan trailed off, walking over to open the trunk before glancing at Phineas. "Are you going to get in there yourself, or do you want me to help you with it?" Phineas was speechless. "But that's the trunk. I'll suffocate inside, won't I? Mr. Tristan, I..." Phineas started, but Tristan's intense gaze shut him up and made him crawl into the trunk of his own accord. Then, Tristan closed the trunk. He was already showing Phineas mercy by not killing him back in the club. However, that mercy was because they were going to let Wilma make the decision. "Let's go," Sophie said flatly, as if they had not just forced a man into the trunk. After all, the hospital was only half an hour's drive away, so it was unlikely that Phineas would die. Meanwhile, Phineas was trembling in the narrow trunk. He was drunk when he hit Wilma, so he failed to keep his strength in check. He had never anticipated such an outcome. Soon, they reached the hospital, and Tristan opened the trunk to let the fearful Phineas crawl out of it. "Don't be scared. We won't kill you," Sophie uttered to him. "Though I think you'll end up with a fate worse than death." Phineas inhaled sharply. "Ms. Sophie, I know I've made a mistake. Besides, this is a matter between me and my wife. You can't do this to me," was what went unsaid. "You and your wife. If you really saw Wilma as your wife, you wouldn't have been so merciless toward her, nor would you have killed your own child." Ms. Leinker had been anticipating the arrival of the baby, but he killed it. "What?" Phineas blurted out, baffled. "All I did was hit Wilma. How did things turn out this way? I just don't like how she's always micromanaging everything." Phineas did not have much savings, so the only reason he married Wilma was because she had enough savings for him to live a luxurious life. In no time, Sophie and Tristan brought the bruise-covered Phineas to Wilma. The only thought in Wilma's mind when she saw him was how she wanted to kill him. She never thought that the usually mild-mannered man was a wolf in sheep's clothing. "Wilma, I didn't mean it. You know how I was drunk. Please forgive me. We can have another child as long as you give me another chance." "We really can," Phineas muttered as he crawled to the side of Wilma's bed. Seemingly having reverted back to his mild-mannered ways, Phineas uttered, "Wilma, are you in pain? Tell me where you're hurting." Unfortunately, Wilma would no longer believe him. When it came to domestic violence, once would bring twice, and twice would bring infinity. "Phineas, let's get a divorce," she said resolutely. She had been blind to have fallen for an animal like him. However, Phineas shook his head vigorously. "No, I don't want to get a divorce from you. I love you. I was only drunk that day." Trust me. I really, really love you. I wouldn't have married you otherwise, right? Phineas rejected. If he got a divorce from Wilma, he would have nothing left, and that was not something he was going to let happen. Phineas, it's pointless to continue this. I'm no longer into you, and I don't think we can continue living together. Let's spare each other the misery. I won't hold you accountable for this. I just want a divorce from you. Nothing matters anymore. I just want a divorce from him. As it turns out, I'm not suitable for love. All I wanted was a family, but this is how things turned out. No, I won't get a divorce from you, Phineas persisted before kneeling on the ground. I'll never get a divorce from you. Never. I know I've done wrong now. Ms. Linker, don't believe in his words. People like him will never change. He'll do the same in the future, Wendy said. She felt bad for Wilma. For the elegant woman to encounter something horrible like this. Wendy, how can you persuade us to get a divorce? What nefarious plans are you up to? Phineas questioned. Wendy retorted. Men like you should be executed. I can't believe you dared to hit a woman. You're shameless. Why don't you pick a fight with gangsters instead? Do you not have the guts to do that? Do you think you're really powerful after hitting your wife instead? Wendy despised men like Phineas, and she looked down on them. Sophie and Tristan were silent at the side. However, as long as it was Wilma's wish, they would make the divorce happen. Ms. Linker, we just need you to come to a decision. Whether or not he agrees to it doesn't matter because I'll settle that myself, Sophie uttered. They had 1,001 ways to fulfill Wilma's wish, after all. Wilma nodded. Ms. Sophie, I know it's the holiday season, but thank you. I want to get a divorce from him. I no longer have any trust in him. Once was more than enough. Losing her baby had given her the chance to see the man's true nature. Phineas shook his head again. Wilma, it really was a moment of foolishness. Please don't do this. Even though we've lost this baby, we can have another. Alas, the man was nothing but a pretentious individual to Wilma now. I'm tired. Leave. Once the holiday season is over, we're going to get the divorce, Wilma said to him. They did not share many financial assets, and now that there was no child involved in the marriage, getting a divorce would be easy. Wilma, are you really not going to forgive me? Have you forgotten about the sweet moments we used to have? Phineas cried out, not willing to admit defeat so easily. Wilma was rich, and he could live off her. He was afraid that he would not be able to find a woman as gullible as Wilma after leaving her. Wilma turned her head away from him. Ms. Sophie, I'm tired. Please ask him to leave. Wilma knew that Phineas would not heed any words she said, but it was a different matter if Sophie and the others were the ones doing the talking. She knew Phineas was afraid of Sophie and Tristan. Leave. Phineas. Don't come here and disturb Ms. Linker these few days. If I find out that you're here, I'm going to incapacitate you. Sophie would genuinely follow through with her words. After the holiday season, they were going to have their divorce. It was not that Sophie and Tristan were incapable of making the divorce happen right away, but that Sophie wanted Wilma to rest for a while after losing her baby first. Phineas parted his lips to speak, but when he caught sight of Sophie and Tristan's gaze, he ran his hand over his face. Wilma, rest well. I'll come and visit you in a few days' time. I hope you'll take this time to think about whether or not you really want a divorce from me. Can we not salvage our relationship? We're not at that irreparable stage yet, right? We only had a fight. Which couple never fought? However, Wilma spared him no words. She was well and truly disappointed. It turned out that marriage was not for her. Once Phineas was gone, Wendy turned back to Wilma. Her heart ached to see the latter in that state. Ms. Linker, are you okay? Don't be too sad. You'll find a man who'll truly love you in the future. You were just unlucky to bump into someone like him. Initially, they had all believed that Phineas was a suitable partner for Wilma and that she had finally found her happiness. However, with the recent events, They were left questioning whether they were bad at judging people's character or if Phineas was just too skilled at hiding his true nature. I know. Ms. Sophie, Mr. Tristan, thank you. Wilma knew that Phineas was all bruised over because Sophie and Tristan had beat him up to avenge her. Ms. Sophie, I've come to the realization that Phineas is nothing but a thug. I'm concerned that he might seek revenge on you after the beating he got today, Wilma said, worried that the nice Sophie would be caught up in trouble. Ms. Linker, you don't need to worry about anything. You just need to rest well in the hospital. Once you recover, we'll work on the divorce procedures. Will this really work? I don't think he'll agree to it so easily. I'll make him agree to it. Be at ease about this and focus on recovering. This is just a trivial matter. If I can't even deal with a minor character like Phineas, how am I even surviving in Gypsdale? Thank you, Ms. Sophie. Wilma felt incredibly weak and distraught, given that she had lost a child. Have a good rest, Ms. Linker. I'll come back to see you tomorrow. Sophie didn't want to stay and bother her any longer. Okay. Thank you. Wilma knew how well Sophie treated her and the others, and she swore to work hard after getting better. Who cares about marriage now? After giving Wendy some instructions, Sophie left with Tristan. Then, she heaved a long sigh upon entering the car. Is marriage really a woman's best resort? Her heart ached from what Wilma had gone through. Tristan took her by the hand. Not every marriage ends up this way. I'll love you forever, and I'll never lay a finger on you even if you hit me. He didn't want her to lose faith in marriage. Sophie nodded in response. It's okay. I know how well you treat me, so I'm fine. I just feel so sorry for Ms. Linker. To think a man had the gall to hit his wife like that. That's just terrible. After getting home, Sophie took a shower and plopped onto the couch to use her laptop, digging up every dirty deed she could find of Phineas. With all this information, Phineas would have no choice but to agree to a divorce even if he were against it. Meanwhile, Tristan gave Sean a call after showering. What? You want me to take on a divorce case? Sean was baffled. Why was he being asked to handle such a trivial case? Yes. It's for someone Sophie cares about. I was hoping you could help. Tristan had requested Sean's help knowing that Phineas would be sure to put up a fight. Okay. I'll do it. Sean would usually be extremely reluctant to take on such a case, but he agreed for Sophie's sake. It's not that big of a deal, anyway. Time flew by quickly. Tristan had other things to take care of and couldn't keep Sophie company, so the latter went to deliver Wilma and Wendy some food on her own. Then, she bumped into Phineas outside the hospital. It looks like you chose to ignore everything I told you. How dare he show up here again? Is he thinking of harassing Ms. Linker? Phineas wasn't so afraid anymore as he didn't see Tristan with her. That guy was just brutal. He hit me in the face, of all places. In truth, he didn't want to drop by anymore, but the thought of having to split up with Wilma and losing everything made him realize that he couldn't just sit around and do nothing. I know you mean well for Wilma, Ms. Sophie, but at the end of the day, this is a matter between husband and wife. It has nothing to do with you. You'll only end up ruining a loving couple's relationship if you keep doing this. Loving couple? You're a fraud, Phineas. Do you really think no one would find out about all the things you used to do? Phineas felt his stomach drop at the mention of the word, fraud. Your whole life is a lie. Your educational background, your whole identity. Everything. You're just a guy with a pretty face who leeches off women. So what right do you have to tell me all that? Sophie clapped back. She had looked him up thoroughly. What are you talking about, Ms. Sophie? Phineas didn't expect anyone to dig up his information. Do you really not know what I'm saying? I can't believe a scumbag like him has the nerve to trick Wilma like that. I'm going to make him go through hell. He just had to do this to her, and it took her forever to realize what a piece of trash he actually is. You investigated me? Phineas felt his blood boil. You do know that you've just breached my privacy, right? How could she do this? That's exactly what I intended. I breached your privacy and did a great job at it. What are you going to do about that? All these years, you've been lying to women just so you could squander their money. What do you think those women would do if they found out your whereabouts? Phineas was bereft of words. So be a good boy, take yourself to City Hall, and get on with the divorce. I won't let you off the hook if you don't, Sophie concluded before walking into the hospital with her thermal lunchboxes. Phineas remained in place, still unable to utter a word. That girl. She's clearly threatening me. She's gone too far. Sophie arrived at the ward and noticed how ashen Wilma looked. Wendy had spent the whole night caring for Wilma, so she didn't look any better either. You should head home, Wendy. I'll look after Ms. Linker today, Sophie offered. Wilma had no one else to rely on in Gypsdale, so she didn't have someone who could be there for her in times like these. I'm okay, Ms. Sophie. I came to Gypsdale alone, so it's not like I have anywhere else to go this Christmas. Let me stay here and watch over Ms. Linker, Wendy insisted, as Wilma used to look after her all the time. Thank you, Wendy, Wilma remarked gratefully. She was used to putting up a strong front, but she accepted their kindness. Don't say that, Ms. Linker. You used to look out for us all the time. It was only human to care for one another. All right, let's not talk about this anymore, Sophie interrupted. I brought you some mushroom soup, so eat up. Wilma had just miscarried, so it was necessary to nurture her body well. Wendy, I got you some food from the Crown. You can go home after eating, Sophie added. Judging from the dark circles underneath Wendy's eyes, she was clearly exhausted. The young woman was thrilled to see so much food. Thank you, Ms. Sophie. She knew how expensive the Crown's food was, but everything tasted wonderful. Sophie scooped Wilma a bowl of mushroom soup and handed it to her. The latter took a few sips. The soup was delicious, but she didn't have much of an appetite. Still, she forced herself to have some as she didn't want the other women to worry about her. Sophie didn't know what to do. She was never good at consoling others. Moreover, there was no point in giving advice on certain matters. She has to figure it out on her own. She stayed with Wilma all morning. Wendy returned by noon, feeling much more refreshed after getting some sleep. I'm back, Ms. Sophie. Let me watch over Ms. Linker. She didn't actually have to do much. All she had to do was keep Wilma company. All right. I have some things to take care of this afternoon, but I'll drop by again when I'm done. You don't have to, Ms. Sophie. The doctor said I can leave, so I was thinking of going home this afternoon. Having to remain in the hospital felt so troublesome. Very well. I'll get someone to pick you both up later. They'll handle all the procedures, so you can go straight home. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Sophie. It was about time for Sophie to leave. She and Arius had arranged to visit Barney, who didn't seem to be doing too well lately. The woman left the hospital and saw Tristan waiting outside. Walking over, she opened the car door and entered. Are you done with work? She asked. Doesn't he have a lot to do today? How does he have the time to come and pick me up? Tristan said, there'll always be something to be busy about as long as we live. Didn't you say Dr. Smith isn't feeling well? I'll visit him with you too. Okay, replied Sophie. Both of them then went to pick Arius up. When he saw Tristan, he complained, Why do you seem to be everywhere, Mr. Tristan? We're just visiting our teacher, so why are you joining us? One of the reasons they were visiting Barney was because it was Christmas. While Barney might be a foreigner, he was, at that moment, in Choneye. Hence, they thought they should follow the customs. Tristan didn't want to pay attention to him. Why should I tell you? Does that have anything to do with you? Arius' emotional defense was weak, which was why Tristan's words easily wounded his heart. I want to complain about him to Sophie. Tristan had already prepared Barney's present, which was 10 bottles of aged red wine because he knew the latter loved them. When Arius transferred his gift to the trunk, he saw Tristan's present and felt emotionally injured again. Compared to Mr. Tristan's present, mine is way too mundane. I wonder if Dr. Smith will like it. No, stop thinking about it. You're not his opponent, so don't torture yourself by comparing your gift to his. It's pointless to do this. Just calm down. Still, he couldn't resist muttering gloomily. I think my gift is a little shabby, Sophie. It is a little shabby, stated Sophie honestly. Her words rendered him speechless. Can't she comfort me a little? Does she have to be this straightforward? Although, it's the intent of a gift that counts. Dr. Smith is an accomplished man, so he likely can get everything he wants. In the end, she still offered him words of comfort. True. Dr. Smith probably does have everything he wants. What I'm gifting him with is my appreciation for him. The trio then went to Barney's mansion. At that moment, Barney was living in the mansion with his family for convenience's sake. Barney beamed as he welcomed his guests. Because he was a doctor, he knew his body wasn't in too much trouble. Still, he was elated to see his ments visiting him. Stay for dinner with us. Shanians have a tradition of having a reunion dinner during Christmas, right? Naturally, Sophie and Arius accepted their mentor's invitation. What about you, Mr. Tristan? Care to join us for a meal? Barney asked because he knew Tristan was a busy man. Yes, answered Tristan. He had already sorted out any urgent issues during the morning so he could spend time with Sophie in the afternoon. Barney's wife went to prepare dinner with a housekeeper while the four of them sat around and chatted with each other. Most of the time, however, it was just Barney, Arius, and Sophie speaking about the medical association. Tristan wasn't familiar with anything related to that, so he could only passively listen to the conversation. After a while, Barney and Arius headed to the study to grab a document, leaving the couple in the living room. Do you think it's boring listening to us talking about this stuff? Sophie asked. He was quiet the entire time. Not really. I don't get bored easily, even though I don't understand what you're discussing with them. Since it was apparent he didn't know a thing about medicine, he didn't feel compelled to pretend he did. That's good. I was worried you'd get bored. Sophie smiled. When Arius and Dr. Smith are around each other, they'll only talk about problems with the medical association. It's what Dr. Smith cares the most about. Holding her hand, Tristan assured her. No need to worry about me. I'm very adaptable. Also, you don't know this, but you look absolutely stunning when discussing those matters. No matter what, she always does things well and looks good while doing it. It doesn't matter if other people like her because she belongs only to me. No one else can have her. She'll always be my woman. When Barney descended the stairs with Arius and saw how sweet the couple appeared, he couldn't help but comment. Now that you have personal time here, you should go on dates and look for a girlfriend, Arius. It's quite pitiful to see you all alone. For a moment, Arius wasn't sure how to respond, but then he said, I'm not pitiful, Dr. Smith. In fact, I think I'm living a good life right now. I don't have anything tying me down. Being single has its perks. Why are you always so stubborn? I'm being serious, you know. Say, Georgina is a pretty nice gal, and you have common topics to talk to her about. You should consider going on a date with her. Arius fell into silence again. Georgina, eh? She's pretty, and we do have things to chat about, but I don't think I want to get any closer to her. I don't want to hurt her since I'm used to being alone. Moments later, Barney handed the document to Sophie. We won't be in a good position if we can't complete the research on the new virus before the International Medical Association does. Even though we're in Chon-AEA right now and those people can't do anything to us, if we fail to produce any results, our situation will become precarious. Don't worry, Dr. Smith. With Arius and I around, we'll definitely succeed before they do. Everything's under my control, promised Sophie because she didn't want him worrying about that while feeling unwell. Arius added, Yeah, there's no need for you to be concerned, Dr. Smith. Even if we can't succeed, they can't do anything to us. So, as I said, you don't need to worry about it. In response, Barney said, I'm not worried about myself. You two are the ones I'm concerned about. Both of you are very talented. I don't want to become the reason you two can't. Immediately, Sophie interrupted. Don't say that, Dr. Smith. It was my decision to return to Chon-aea. It has nothing to do with you. He really shouldn't bear all the problems on his shoulders. It'll wear him out. If there's anything I can help with, please let me know. Lombard Group is willing to invest in medical research, offered Tristan because he was aware of how costly medical research could get, and he had a lot of money to spare. Upon listening to their responses, Barney smiled. True. While things aren't great right now, so what? Arius and Sophie are geniuses. There's no problem they can't solve when working together. I can rest assured that the Medical Association will be in you two's good hands. Arius immediately rejected. I don't want the Medical Association. I can do research, but I'm incapable of managing such a massive medical association. Management isn't a skill I possess. Barney had expected that outcome. Arius' greatest weakness is his laziness. He doesn't want to spend too much time managing anything and instead prefers to focus on research. Don't look at me like that, Dr. Smith. I also just want to do my research, remarked Sophie. I have way too many things to handle. My energy is limited. Barney was speechless. I can't believe both of them treat the position as a hot potato, even though many people desire it. A sigh slipped past his lips. Fine. Let's not talk about this for now. Come, let us eat. He then brought everyone to the dining table. When he saw Tristan's present, he was overjoyed because he genuinely loved drinking red wine. Since everyone's free today, let us drink a little. The 10 bottles of red wine Mr. Tristan gifted me are really high quality, said Barney as he popped a bottle open. I still need to drive later, so I'll pass, Tristan rejected. I need to send the 2 of them back, after all. Barney insisted. It's fine. You can just call for a designated driver later. Everyone's so happy today, so just drink a little. Sophie nodded. Even though they were in Chon-aea, they were having Western cuisine because that was the only type of food Barney's wife knew how to prepare. Therefore, even though Barney liked the local food, he could do nothing about it. They chatted as they ate. By the time dinner was over, it was already almost 7. Sophie, Tristan, and Arius didn't stay for long afterward. They left once the designated driver arrived. Your ments are wonderful, darling, Barney's wife remarked as she cleaned things up after they left. Indeed they are. It's why I came here without caring about anything else. Barney was naturally contented with his ments. It's okay if they don't want to helm the Medical Association. As long as they keep doing their research, I'll find a way to make them accept those roles. I'm getting old, so I can't hold this position forever. Tristan asked the driver to send Arius back home first before sending him and Sophie to their home. Upon reaching their destination, Tristan began busying about again. Meanwhile, Sophie was talking to someone on the phone. Occasionally, Tristan would glance at her. She sure has a lot of secrets. Although, it's fine if she doesn't want to tell me about them. I won't interrogate her. One day, I'll make her reveal all her secrets to me willingly. After all, we still have an entire lifetime to understand each other. I'm in no rush. Sophie was speaking to Butterfly on the phone because the latter had been acting a little too self-indulgent. Don't go overboard, Butterfly, or you'll find yourself trapped. I've been feeling really uneasy lately. Why are you saying that, Sophie? If I didn't have someone as amazing as you as my support, I wouldn't go that far. Also, I met Nicholas yesterday, Butterfly informed her. The mere mention of the man still terrified her. Stay far away from him, and don't provoke him. He's a maniac. Don't worry, I know. I value my life. Oh yeah, one more thing. Yesterday, I unintentionally received news that the people from International Medical Association are targeting you all. Be careful. While the field of medicine had no national borders, the scientists working in the field did. Englander didn't want the Medical Association in Chon-aea to become too powerful or surpass them. Thus, they kept trying to take Sophie and her colleagues down. I think they installed a spy at the Medical Association, so be careful. warned Butterfly. I don't know who it is, but their research may be sabotaged if it's true. Staring at her hand, Sophie replied. Thanks for telling me. You should be careful too. Got it. I know you two are inseparable, and you don't want to waste time on me, so bye-bye. Silently, Sophie hung up and sat next to Tristan. Busy. Tristan was reading a report about the death of a high-ranking official in Lombard Group. The authority claimed it was suicide, but he had his doubts. No. Who were you talking to? Butterfly. She's in Anglander right now, so I told her not to cause any trouble. Otherwise, if something happens, I won't be able to save her. That woman is bold. You should tell her to behave herself, he suggested. Sophie seems to be surrounded by bold people. He then said, by the way, how will you deal with Wilma's matter? I've told Sean about it, so when the time comes, tell Wilma to meet with Sean. With him around, Phineas won't dare to do anything. Don't worry. I've taken care of the matter. He will willingly divorce her. I'll also make sure he won't harass Ms. Linker again. Just thinking about Phineas pissed Sophie off. Willow has been obedient lately. If she keeps up with her good behavior, I won't send her back. He had assigned people to monitor Willow. You don't need to bother with her, remarked Sophie. Even though her ambitions are higher than the sky, her intelligence isn't, so I doubt she can cause much trouble. She spent the next few days either visiting her relatives or spending a lovely time with Tristan. Soon, the year was over. Many things in the Chinean Medical Association were still waiting for them to handle. The research on the new disease had reached its most critical moment. Therefore, they had to complete it soon. After the holiday period was over, people returned to their posts in Chinean Medical Association. As it turned out, Georgina had prepared gifts for Arius and Sophie. When she handed a present to Sophie, she said, "See if you like it, Sophie." Upon opening the gift box, Sophie saw a delicate bracelet inside and beamed. "Thank you, Georgina. I should prepare a present for her later. After all, friends should reciprocate each other's kindness." Georgina bit her lip. "I'm glad you like it. I thought it looked pretty and suited you, so I bought it." Then she shyly delivered Arius' present to him. "I hope you'll be willing to accept my gift, Professor Gulliver." Arius smiled. "Georgina, you. How do I reject her? I know she likes me, but I'm not ready for a romantic relationship yet. I'm not suitable for you." That was the only thing Arius could think of to say. Georgina paled. "Don't overthink my gift, Professor Gulliver. This is just a token of my appreciation for the help you've provided me." Well, if she's putting it that way, I have to accept her gift now. Otherwise, I'd be embarrassing her. Without any other choice, he accepted the box. In response, she sighed in relief. "I'll be heading to work now. See you." When Arius opened the box, he saw a costly watch. "This is way too expensive. Why would anyone gift someone such an expensive watch for no reason? I'm feeling very burdened right now. What am I supposed to do? I can deal with any experiment, no matter how complicated it is, but I've no experience with romance. Georgina's a good woman, so I really don't want to hurt her feelings." Sophie was amused by his reaction and let out a laugh. "I didn't expect Arius would one day be in such a situation." "Why are you laughing? This is all your fault. What do you think I should do now?" "I really don't want to hurt her." Arius sighed. It wasn't easy for Georgina to join the Chinean Medical Association. "I can't let this become the reason for her departure," she answered. "How would I know what you should do? As impressive as I am, I'm incapable of controlling other people's emotions. There's nothing anyone can do to change someone's mind when it comes to liking or disliking someone." The matter was genuinely troubling Arius. "What the heck should I do with this gift? All right, that's enough. We should head to Dr. Smith's office. I have something I want to tell you too about." Her smile faded, replaced by a serious expression. "I mustn't let our enemy know that we're aware they've planted a spy here. Otherwise, Things get messy. Upon arriving at Barney's office, Sophie told him and Aureus about the spy. Our research is at a critical point right now, so we must be vigilant. I feel exhausted by this. We're all just doing research, so why are they so ruthless? Why must they do this? Barney thought. Our data during this period is crucial, so please install strong protection on your own data. As for the spy, we'll fish them out once the research has concluded, Sophie continued. What about other people's data? Due to the complicated nature of their latest research, there were other people researching other data. We don't know who's the spy, so the only option is for us three to handle everything ourselves, Sophie answered. Right now, we can't afford any mistakes with the data. If our adversary tampers with the data calculation, it'll significantly affect our final result. This'll be tiring, but it's our only solution right now. Barney was in support of her plan. Nodding, Aureus said, in that case, let me do more. Since I'm alone, I don't have much else going on after returning home. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'll assign you a few bodyguards. Just in case, informed Sophie. You only need to send people to protect Dr. Smith, Sophie. I can keep myself safe. Aureus was pretty confident in his skills. As long as it isn't that maniac, Nicholas, I can handle it. This is a critical period, Aureus. Englander won't let us off, so you must allow the bodyguards to follow you no matter how uncomfortable you are with it. I guess it can't be helped then. Fine, I'll go along with it. He knew Sophie was doing that because she was worried about them. That's all I have to say. If there's nothing else, let's return to our experiments. She didn't want to waste any more time because the deadline was tight. Another reason was that classes would be starting in roughly 2 weeks. Once school starts, I'll be incredibly busy. That's why I must finish conducting the remaining few key experiments when I still have time. Barney was delighted with how Sophie was handling everything. Indeed, she's the most suitable person to take over my position. She has excellent management skills, knows how to allocate her time well, and always makes decisions others will agree on. Upon arriving at her lab, Sophie scanned her fingerprint before entering the room only she could access. She wore her white coat, tied her hair, and began experimenting. Her experiments didn't stop until the afternoon when she had to leave to deal with other matters. After tidying the lab up, she left. Initially, Aureus was going to invite her and Georgina to a meal. However, when he approached Sophie, he realized she was leaving. Didn't you say we should hurry up with the experiments? Where are you going? I've completed my tasks for the day, and I have other matters to attend to, so I must leave, she replied. Is it something important? Do you need my help? Aureus was always eager to help her out if she needed his aid. No need. It's just a small matter. All right then. You should be careful, considering you're a thorn in many people's side right now. He and Barney weren't in as much danger as she was. Relax. I won't die that easily. If they want to take my life, they'll need to be capable enough to pull it off. I know you're confident about yourself, but you still need to be careful, all right? Aureus was worried because he wasn't sure if she had fully recovered from her injury yet. I know. Upon leaving Shenean Medical Association, Sophie took a taxi to Wilma's place. The latter had recovered after recuperating for a few days. When she saw Sophie had arrived, she immediately let her in. I can do it myself, Ms. Sophie. You don't have to come with me. Today was the day she would be divorcing Phineas. She knew Sophie had done something. Otherwise, Phineas wouldn't have agreed to the divorce that easily. Have you prepared everything yet? If you have, we'll get something to eat first before heading straight to City Hall, Sophie suggested. City Hall was also back in operation after the holiday season. All right. Wilma grabbed her coat and followed Sophie out to a nearby restaurant. After they ate something, they took a taxi to City Hall. When they arrived, they saw Phineas was already waiting there. He appeared particularly haggard, especially with his unshaven beard. Pitifully, he pleaded, Can we not divorce, Wilma? I know I was wrong last time. I shouldn't have done that. However, I was drunk. I didn't expect it would cause you to miscarry. Can you please give me another chance? As Wilma stared at Phineas, she thought, I regret ever loving him. It's only after this incident that I realized just how evil this man is. In the past, I sincerely believed he would bring me happiness, but what he brought me was so much worse than I could have thought. Don't say anything else, Phineas. Let us just get on with it and go our separate ways. Phineas sobbed. Is this how our relationship must end, Wilma? Do you know how much I love? Don't utter that word in front of me again. A domestic abuser like you doesn't deserve to use that word. Genuine disgust flooded Wilma's heart. I hate how he's still putting on a fake act. Wilma. All right, that's enough. Stop wasting time and divorce her. Sophie had had enough of his nonsense. If he truly loved her, he wouldn't have hurt her. There's no need for anyone to keep a man who abuses her. There are plenty more men in the world. I'm sure Wilma will meet someone who'll treat her well. Phineas didn't have the nerve to speak another word when he saw the look in Sophie's eyes. Neither Sophie nor Tristan was someone he could afford to mess with. If he did, his life would turn into a living hell. It was then Tristan arrived with Sean. When Sophie saw Sean, she grinned. With him here, the divorce will no doubt proceed smoothly. Thank you for coming here, Mr. Burton. I'll treat you to dinner later. Usually, she wouldn't just casually invite someone to a meal. Sure. Sean accepted without hesitation. There's no need for you two to follow me in. I'll handle it. Sophie and Tristan haven't even gotten married yet. There's no need for them to watch another couple's divorce. Okay. Sophie was very confident Sean would ensure Wilma's divorce proceeded smoothly. After Sean brought Wilma and Phineas in, Phineas spoke up. Wilma, I'm fine if you want to divorce me, but you must give me the condominium we lived in. He was initially an outstanding bachelor, so he wanted something in return for becoming a used man after marrying her. Staring at him with disbelief, Wilma argued. Do you know what you're saying right now? I bought the condominium with my own money. Why should I give it to you? I didn't mind paying for our expenses when we had meals or went somewhere to have fun when we were still together, but we're about to divorce each other now. I can't believe he has the gall to say something like that at this moment. Because after marrying you, I'm no longer as popular as before. So, I want compensation for my emotional damage. Phineas knew there was no way he could patch things up with her, no matter how hard he tried. Therefore, he was eager to extract every bit of benefit he could. Wilma was, understandably, furious. I must be blind in the past for falling for you. How can you be so shameless, Phineas? I've never seen a man as despicable as you. I don't care what you say. If you want a divorce, you must give me that condominium. He was going all out because he saw no point in being decent with her anymore. You. The taste of blood entered her mouth. She was so livid that she had bitten her tongue. It was also the first time Sean saw such a shameless man. Don't worry, Ms. Linker. You should head in first, he said so he could deal with Phineas alone. Sean was a burly and handsome man with cold, frightening eyes. Thus, Phineas had to gather his courage before demanding, I know you're the lawyer Ms. Sophie hired. My only condition for the divorce is that condominium's ownership. In response, Sean couldn't help but scoff. This guy's so ridiculous that he shifts my notion of shameless. Do you know who I am? At that moment, he felt compelled to disclose his identity. Phineas continued, I don't care who you are. This is my only request. If you all don't agree to it, He was cut off when Sean punched him. Peering at the man before him with disbelief, Phineas exclaimed, How can you hit someone? You're a lawyer. I'm going to sue you. I'll ensure you can't be a lawyer anymore. My name's Sean Burton. Go in there and sign the divorce paper now, or I'll make sure you lose everything, including your underwear. Of course, as a resident of Gypsdale, Phineas had heard of Sean's name before. While he was dumbfounded, he wasn't surprised. I should have expected this since Wilma has someone powerful supporting her right now. Don't request anything ridiculous. The assets have been split. You just need to sign the papers. Otherwise, I'll turn your life into a living hell, commanded Sean. What a piece of garbage. He only knows how to trick women. Is it fun for him to be a kept man? Phineas didn't have the guts to speak any further. All he wanted was a little more benefit, but he could tell he wouldn't get any in that situation. After that, everything went smoothly. He signed the divorce paper without a word. When Wilma received her divorce certificate, she released a sigh of relief. It's only now that I know just how shameless this man is. The fact that he's willing to do all this is just pathetic. Wilma, thinking he could be like those handsome male leads in movies, he tried to ask her to stay, but she simply found his attempt amusing. If we meet again in the future, pretend we don't know each other. Just the sight of you disgusts me. With that, she stepped toward Sophie. Thank you, Ms. Sophie. I'll rest a few more days before returning to work. Now that I'm not carrying a child anymore, I can focus on working. Sophie shook her head. How about this, Ms. Leinker? I don't think you're suitable to work yet in your current state, so I'll give you 1 month of leave to recover fully. I don't need it, Ms. Sophie. Right now, Sophie cut her off with a hug. Listen to me, okay? Just take the month off. Go wherever you want to go. Relax. Don't worry about your work. It's not going anywhere. You deserve to rest after going through so much. Ms. Sophie. Wilma's eyes reddened. Ever since she lost her baby, she hadn't shed a tear. However, at that moment, she genuinely wanted to cry. Wilma sobbed, even though she didn't want to. As much as she wanted to appear strong, she couldn't help but cry. Once her tears ran dry, Sophie opened the door for her. Get in. We'll send you back. I don't think she's in the mood for a meal. I may as well send her home to rest first. I want to treat you all to a meal for helping me so much, Ms. Sophie. Of course, Wilma wasn't an insensible woman. Additionally, she knew the lawyer Sophie hired was Sean. Hence, she felt obliged to show her appreciation. We can talk about that once you return from your vacation. For now, just relax and have fun. Don't give up an entire forest for a rotten tree. Upon closing the door, Sophie sat in the passenger seat. Then Tristan drove Wilma back to her house. By the time they sent Wilma home, it was already sometime past 4 in the afternoon. Since there wasn't much else going on, Tristan brought Sophie to visit William. Due to being an old man, William was happy to see the couple, even though he didn't express his joy verbally. His previous rejection of Sophie was long gone, and he had now come to accept her as part of the family. I heard you've been conducting research at Chenian Medical Association. Do you need my help? If you do, let me know. Despite his old age, he still wanted to contribute to his country. Sophie answered, For now, no. Our research is confidential, so I can't tell you much about it. Okay. If you need my help, let me know. The elderly man's voice was filled with enthusiasm. All right. Since it was still early, she accepted his casual proposal to play chess. He didn't expect her to because he was aware not many youngsters nowadays knew how to. To his surprise, he was forced into a corner in their first round. It would seem Sophie was quite proficient in the board game. Tristan was tempted to laugh as he watched. Go easy on my father, Sophie. He's old. That infuriated William. What does he mean by that? In the end, he lost. Again. He believed she merely got lucky because only a few people in Gypsdale could rival his chess skills. Tristan whispered next to her ear. Go easy on my dad. He doesn't like losing. She's a little too forthright. I think that'll make him even more upset. Glancing at him, she wondered if he was being serious. Go do something else if you have nothing to do, Tristan. Why do you keep standing there? Do you think I'll bully your wife? Grumbled William. Do I look like I'm going to do that? Since I've acknowledged her, I'm not going to trouble her anymore. You can't bully her. I just want to stay by my wife's side. With that said, Tristan promptly sat on the armrest of Sophie's chair. William couldn't stand seeing his son like that. A man shouldn't cling to their wife so much. In the end, he opted to focus on the game. I can't lose again and embarrass myself. Sophie took Tristan's advice to heart and went easy on William. However, she kept dragging on the match. Thus, he couldn't win either. As he took a deep breath, he thought, I thought I'd become a master-level chess player. After all, it has been challenging to find a player as good as me to play against in Gypsdale over the past few years. But now, I see there are still people in the world far more skilled than myself. Tristan pressed his hand on his lips as he struggled not to laugh. Then he whispered, At this point, you may as well just take your victories, Sophie. Sophie glanced at him. Why does he keep bothering me? First, he told me to lose. Now, he's telling me to win. What does he want me to do? Gently, he pinched her shoulder. All right, I won't disturb you anymore. Do what you want. I don't think Dad'll ever want to play chess with her again. Eventually, the round ended when Sarah came over to tell them dinner was ready. William was sweating profusely by then, well aware that if they hadn't stopped then, he would have been the loser. On the contrary, Sophie appeared relaxed. William remained in his seat even as the couple headed to the dining room. Thus, Sarah couldn't help but ask, Are you all right, Dad? What's the matter with you? Shaking his head, he replied, I think I've underestimated Sophie's abilities. She's truly remarkable. Sarah couldn't help but laugh when she heard that. Didn't I tell you that before? Once you've spent enough time with her, you'll learn to like her. She's incredible. It seems like I've truly gotten old. The new generation is on the rise, William lamented with a sigh. After the meal, they played poker together. In the past, he used to love playing poker. He also thought he could show off his skills to restore his dignity after losing at chess. Unfortunately, not only did he lose, but he was also the one who lost the most horribly. Despite being family, they didn't show him any mercy. William was feeling deeply frustrated, but he thought he'd seem ill-mannered if he showed his anger. Hence, he stood. I'm tired, so I'll head upstairs to rest now. You all have fun. He could not help but question his life today. In truth, he had always thought he had a high IQ. Back when he was still in the business industry, he never lost any battles. Yet today, he had lost at the hands of a young woman, and more than once at that. To say he was embarrassed was an understatement. Knowing what her father was feeling, Sarah bade him goodbye instead of further injuring his self-esteem. All right, Dad. Rest well. After he left, she said, You two went overboard. Why didn't you show Dad mercy? He was clearly angered. The couple and Isabel had an expression that said, Do we have to respect the elderly at a gambling table? In response to seeing that, Sarah shook her head. You too. In any case, it's getting late, so I'll take my leave now. She had her own matters to attend to, so she left. Meanwhile, Tristan put Sophie's coat on her. Let's go. We should head back now too. Isabel was speechless. Why is everyone leaving now? She swiftly asked, Can you stay here and keep me company tonight, Sophie? School's about to start. Man, time sure flies. This year will no doubt be a busy one, considering the plans TS has for me. You're a grown-up. Why do you need someone to keep you company? Go and have fun on your own. Tristan wasn't about to let Sophie stay behind. Once the new semester started, Sophie would be quite busy, and it would be difficult for him to see her. Naturally, he wanted to spend the remaining few days before that happened with her. All right. I'll meet you up to have a meal together tomorrow. Sophie was aware of Tristan's thoughts and didn't want him to go back alone either. Hugging her pillow, Isabel gazed at Sophie pitifully. Sophie, you. Under Tristan's watchful eye, Isabel caught herself in the end. Is there anyone else more pitiable than me? Subsequently, Tristan and Sophie left. Meanwhile, Butterfly had always been confident in herself during her extended stay at Englander. She believed she would never fall into Nicholas's hands. However, that day, her luck was particularly awful. She happened to run into Nicholas when she went out to have her breakfast. Butterfly really wanted to pretend she didn't know him at all. However, Nicholas, the madman, was about to leave and had even reached the door but decided to retrace his steps. "You're Sophie's friend?" Holding 2 fitness balls in his hands, he narrowed his eyes to size her up. Butterfly didn't respond. Being stared at intently by Nicholas, Butterfly felt it was difficult to breathe. She had experienced all kinds of tribulations. Still, facing that man filled her with a sense of suffocation. "I'm sorry, mister, but you must have mistaken me for someone else. I don't know the person you're talking about." Butterfly forced herself to calm down. She knew that the man before her was a lunatic. If he found out about her relationship with Sophie, he would never let her go and would even use her to threaten Sophie. Nicholas flashed a mirthless smile. "You know, my dear, you're not good at lying," he said before sitting down across from her. "Since you're Sophie's friend, it is my obligation to show hospitality to you. Otherwise, I will feel embarrassed when I see her in the future. You're aware of my relationship with her. Therefore, I consider her friends to be mine too," Nicholas added. "Sometimes, one can find what they are looking for without even trying after tracking miles in vain for it. So what if I failed to capture Arius? Seizing this woman will do the trick as well." Butterfly knew that he wouldn't believe her no matter what she said. She immediately got to her feet, attempting to flee, but she was no match for Nicholas. He effortlessly caught her, grasping her hand and twisting it behind her back. "Nicholas, what are you trying to do? Do you know who I am? Let go of me. Damn it. If I had known I'd encounter Nicholas here today, I wouldn't have come here. My misfortune truly knows no bounds." Nicholas summoned Richard, who brought over a syringe. All color drained from Butterfly's face when she saw the syringe. She struggled violently but couldn't break free. "Calm down. I won't hurt you. If you're willing to cooperate with me, I'll certainly treat you like an honored guest." Nicholas' voice was laced with obvious malicious intent. There was no way she would listen to him. "Nicholas, let me go. You're just a psychopath. Sophie has never liked you, so what's the point of you doing all this? Don't you find yourself pathetic?" What Nicholas couldn't bear the most was being told that Sophie didn't love him. Jab her. Does love matter? Nothing else is important as long as I can attain the desired result. After being injected with the drug, Butterfly found herself completely drained of strength. She couldn't run even if Nicholas let go of her now. Resentment churned within her. Damn it. If only I had listened to Sophie and not come here. Now I'm truly done for. Nicholas gripped her chin. Don't worry. I won't hurt you. I know how much Sophie cares about her friends, so I won't hurt you. Let's go. Bring her back and take good care of her, Nicholas told his subordinates, his eyes filled with confidence and determination. I've made all the necessary preparations. Once Sophie comes here, I can replace her memories. Then, I will be the only person she thinks and cares about. I will succeed no matter the arduousness. Sophie sensed something was wrong when she couldn't reach Butterfly after multiple attempts to establish contact with her. She switched on her computer to track Butterfly's location, but to no avail. Her phone must have been discarded. Ever since their return, Tristan noticed that Sophie wasn't herself. He walked up behind her and gently massaged her shoulders. What's the matter? What happened? He rarely saw her like this. Something might have happened to Butterfly. I can't reach her, and I can't track her location either. Didn't she go to Englander? Tristan knew she was worried, so he wanted to console her. How about this? I'll have my men there look for her. I've already sent people to search for her. Sophie also had friends at Englander, but they couldn't find Butterfly anywhere after looking for her all day. Don't worry. Butterfly can fight well, so she should be fine. All Tristan could do at that moment was trying to reassure her. Besides, Tristan figured even if Butterfly had indeed fallen into Nicholas' hands, Nicholas wouldn't dare to harm her. Yeah. Sophie made a few more phone calls to her friends at Anglander, urging them to continue looking for Butterfly. In the end, the call she received was from Nicholas. Sophie, rest assured. Your friend is with me, and I'll take good care of her. Nicholas grinned from ear to ear. Sophie fell silent. As I expected, he has taken her. I've warned Butterfly to be cautious, but she refused to heed my words. Now, look what happened. Why aren't you speaking? We haven't seen each other for so long. Don't you miss me? Even if you don't, I really miss you, Nicholas said, talking to himself. Nicholas, are you sick? What's the point in you constantly pestering me like this? Sophie was truly frustrated at having failed to eliminate him. Yes, I am sick. Didn't you know? I have a disease called lovesickness. Sophie was rendered speechless. All she wanted to do now was to strangle him. Let Butterfly go. Sophie demanded coldly. Butterfly is my friend, and I won't allow anyone to harm the people around me. I haven't confined her. She's free to leave any time she wants, Nicholas uttered nonchalantly. Nicholas, don't force me to kill you. She found her threats meaningless after repeating them so many times. Nicholas' luck seemed never-ending as he had survived several attempts on his life. Even if you want to kill me, you'll have to come to Anglander. Sophie, I miss you, so please come here. I'll be contented even if I can only catch a glimpse of you. His longing was like a tidal wave, threatening to engulf him. Nicholas was going through all that trouble just so he could at least have a glimpse of Sophie. Even hearing her voice would suffice. Don't hurt Butterfly. I won't let you off if you do. Furious beyond measure, Sophie straight up ended the call. Tristan knew that Butterfly was kidnapped by Nicholas just by looking at how angry Sophie was. He then came over and put his arms around her shoulders. Don't fret. We'll be able to handle any situation that comes our way. Being angry wouldn't change anything. Nicholas got Butterfly. Sophie didn't need to hide anything from Tristan. There were no secrets between them. I know. Tristan really wanted to tear Nicholas apart. Nicholas had always been lurking around them, bringing them nothing but trouble. Don't worry. I'll bring Butterfly back, Tristan uttered. Based on Sophie and Butterfly's relationship, Sophie would never sit back and do nothing when Butterfly was kidnapped by Nicholas. No. I can't let you go. Nicholas hated Tristan too much, and based on Nicholas' temperament, he would never hand Butterfly over if Tristan was the one who went. Trust me, Sophie. I promise I'll bring Butterfly back safely. Tristan would never let Sophie meet up with Nicholas alone, and he would never ignore anything that had to do with Sophie. I'm serious, Tristan. You can't go. Nicholas won't hurt me if I go, but you? He's not that easy to deal with when he goes crazy. The reason why they couldn't really do anything to Nicholas was because he was not easy to handle. That was why this was happening to them now. And you think I'll be okay with you going there alone? Yes, Sophie was a formidable fighter, but that was still Nicholas' territory that she would be entering. Nicholas was also someone who was talented and had power. He wouldn't be able to live this long if it weren't for those. But I can't just leave Butterfly like that. Butterfly was Sophie's underling, so she would never leave Butterfly in that situation. There was no way Sophie could let that happen. I never said that. All right. I got it. I'll think this matter over carefully. Maybe old Mr. Sable would be able to help me out. Javier never thought that Sophie would contact him since he wished for nothing but her death. How dare you call me, Sophie? I still haven't settled the score with you for killing Alex. Ha! Sophie scoffed, wondering why he would think she would not dare call him. Old Mr. Sable, I know how much you care for Nicholas. He has captured someone dear to me, but if you can make him set her free, Then maybe we could collaborate again. By now, Nicholas' obsessiveness had grown to the point it was like a disease. Collaborate? Do I need to collaborate with you? I want to kill you more than collaborate with you. There was nothing to collaborate about from Javier's point of view. Javier still hadn't gotten over Alex's death, and based on how Alex was dealt with, he knew that Sophie would never go easy on Nicholas. He knew that Sophie would kill Nicholas if she had the chance. Isn't it your wish that Nicholas be treated? I can make him visit the psychiatrist if you can bring Butterfly out. You should know his condition. He's now mentally ill, and he'll be done for if he doesn't see a psychiatrist now. You. How dare she talk about Nicholas that way? No matter how terrible Nicholas was, he was still Javier's son, and Javier would never let anyone talk about his son that way. I'll give you a day to think about it. I can still save Butterfly even if you don't accept my proposal, but I can't promise what will happen to Nicholas then. Sophie was never someone to beg for help. The reason why she even sought out Javier was for a collaboration, but if he didn't accept her proposal, she had other ideas as well. Javier went and looked for Nicholas after hanging up the call. He was truly worried when he saw what his son had become. Both Sophie and Tristan were not easy opponents. Javier couldn't be assured of Nicholas' continued survival if things went on, so he started thinking about what the right choice would be. Nicholas furrowed his brows when he noticed Javier looking at him. Old man, didn't I tell you to rest at your own mansion? You better not butt into my business. Nicholas didn't need anyone interfering with what he was doing. He could make his own decisions and didn't want anyone interfering in his business or giving him any advice. Javier was sitting on the couch, staring at Nicholas seriously. I heard you kidnapped one of Sophie's men. Nicholas, Alex is already dead. Can't you give up? What's the point in clinging to her? You know she doesn't like you. Nicholas didn't answer him. He really didn't want to talk about his relationship problems with his father since liking and not liking someone was between him and Sophie, and it had nothing to do with anyone else. So what if she doesn't like me? I don't care as long as she can be by my side. Nothing is more important than that, Nicholas thought. Nicholas, I'm your father. I won't harm you. Go visit a psychiatrist. Who knows what will happen if you continue with your obsession? Tristan was a cruel man filled with bloodlust. They had provoked him, and now they needed to stop. You weren't like this before, Dad. Since when did you become such a coward? I told you I'll be able to deal with whoever comes my way, so don't worry. Unwilling to continue the conversation, Nicholas went upstairs. He just didn't want to converse with anyone right now. Javier stood with the help of his cane and looked at Nicholas back with grimness in his eyes. In the past, Nicholas had Alex by his side to watch out for him. Now, Richard had taken Alex's place. Richard and Alex were the same in that they were both deeply loyal to Nicholas. If this went on, Nicholas would really be killed by their indulgence in him. After heading back, Javier immediately called Sophie. I'll accept your proposal, but you have to promise me something. Promise that you'll make him visit a psychiatrist after this. Javier had no choice but to admit that Nicholas was mentally ill. He had become too obsessive and violent. After hanging up the call, Javier took a deep breath. He knew he had to be very careful when it came to this matter, as Nicholas wouldn't let him off if he knew about this. The Nicholas now had already lost all reasoning. Sophie was clearly relieved when she got the call from Javier. She did have other ways to save Butterfly, but this method was the safest way. Tristan gently hugged her when he saw her reaction. You don't have to do it like this, you know. Wouldn't it be easier to just bring Butterfly back by force?
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.